Hi, going to be talking about the automation settings. So this is super admin menu, down to setup, down to options down here, and then automation. So the first one on this section, the first option is enable access to new volunteers. So if a volunteer registers, should they be able to access opportunities straight away? Doesn't mean any opportunity. You might have restrictions against specific opportunities, which is perfectly fine. But if you don't have any restrictions at all on an opportunity, should they be able to register and join that opportunity straight away? Or do you want to manually authorize that volunteer before they can get on any opportunity? If that makes sense. So if this is set to yes, then it's going to give them access straight away. They can get onto those opportunities which have no restrictions. If it says no, then they can't. And this is kind of similar for providers, but so if I say enable access to new providers, if I change that to yes, it means that a new provider can register, create opportunities, and as long as those opportunities are authorized by the administrator, then they will go live on the system for volunteers to join. If I say no to this, it means that every volunteer who registers, regardless of what the situation is with their opportunities, I need to manually authorize that provider before any opportunities can go live. Okay, so that's when you say, okay, I want to manually check who the providers are. That's when you would set that to no. Authorize new opportunities, similar to what I was just saying before. So not about the providers, about the opportunities. If a provider creates an opportunity, whether it's a first opportunity or a 100th opportunity, should they be able to, should that go live straight away, or should it always be checked by the administrator? So if it's set to no, you're saying don't authorize new opportunities, says no. Obviously, it's not going to allow them to. It means that every opportunity has to be authorized by the administrator first. Okay, enable auto induction of volunteers. So this is not an induction on an opportunity. This is a generic induction. Okay, so if you have the same induction process, onboarding process for every volunteer, then you might say, okay, then they should be inducted, and maybe you go through health and safety and kind of best practice and what's expected of them and this, that, and the other. Okay, that'd be a generic induction process, not specific to any opportunity. It's a generic induction process, and you can mark down against the volunteers within their profile page. You can mark down whether they have been inducted or not. Now, this is saying, should you automatically mark every volunteer down as being inducted or not? As simple as that. Approve new positive feedback by volunteers. So when a volunteer logs hours or a provider logs hours after a volunteer's been an opportunity, they have the ability, as you're probably aware, to log hours. And so the volunteer says, I've done 10 hours, and the provider says, yeah, I think you've done 10 hours as well. And the two numbers that are stored in the system. Before it lets them log them hours, the step before, it asks them to leave some feedback. And they leave it there, a thumbs up and thumbs down, and then they put in a few words of a thanks, usually. Thank you for giving up your free time, and thank you made me feel really welcome, is what the volunteer would say. Now, this feedback, these kind of thank you messages, call them feedback, they are shared. Okay, so other people can see them. Okay, so when I go to an opportunity, I can see other feedback that other volunteers have left for that particular opportunity for that provider. So say, oh, these volunteers here have got 5 feedbacks, and they've also had a great time. Okay, that sounds good. It sounds exciting. Maybe I'll join that opportunity. Okay, but that's only shared if there's thumbs up feedback. If someone leaves a thumbs down, it gets emailed to the administrator. And what this is saying here is, if it's a thumbs up, if it's a positive feedback, should they approve all thumbs up feedback and share it publicly? And that's what it's set to yes. Set to no, it means that no feedback essentially is going to be shared, and the administrator would have to go in and check the feedback and manually approve each individual feedback, which is fine. Depends on the numbers of volunteers you're talking about, the number of feedback you get. It can be quite a lot of work for somebody. It's usually assumed that if it's thumbs up feedback, it's positive and there's no reason not to share it. Is the assumption. Criminal check maximum expiry period. That's if you do criminal checks, you can say how many months until the system flags up that this person's criminal check is about to expire. Send weekly email summaries. So this is every week, on a Friday at the moment, 6 o'clock, it sends out an email to all volunteers on your system who have not opted out I should say, opted in to receiving emails. In which case they'll receive every Friday at 6 o'clock. They'll receive an email, and it will say, "Oh, these are new opportunities that have been added, and these are opportunities that you've joined that are taking place in the next 7 days. And here's how many hours you've got. This, that, and the other." So it's saying, do you want the system to send out this weekly email to those volunteers every Friday? Okay. And this is just saying, do you want to include the number of hours on that weekly email? That's what this bottom question's about here. Okay, so hopefully that's useful. Thanks for your time.